basically, there was this documentary I watched the other day called it was like Inside Britain's Nuclear Submarine, Trident, which isn't what the submarine's called, that's the name of the missile.
Right.
But anyway, so it was on like Channel 5, like a documentary about them being, basically a guy just came with a camera onto one of the nuclear subs that defends British coasts and sees what's up. The thing is, it's heavily classified, all the stuff on there.
Yeah.
So this poor guy would like go up to the captain and be like, okay, so how does the submarine run? Oh, well, I can't really tell you that because that's a state secret. All right, cool. Where are we at the moment? Can't tell you that either. It's a state secret. But I was like, oh, there's an emergency happening in the engine room. Unfortunately, the engine room was off limits to me and my camera team. I was like, this is the most fucking pathetic documentary I've ever seen.
Who thought that would be a good idea?
It was on Channel 5. I don't know if that answers that question.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
But it's like, I was like, oh, this would be really interesting. I'd be interested to see what's inside a submarine. I think I know less going in. Coming out than going in.
That is incredible.
He was going around with his camera and he like poked his head into like, I think it was like the mess room. There's like a load of officers in there and they all turned to see him. I was like, hi guys, just with the camera. No, just like an icy glare. And he just put the curtain back. I was like, yes, move on.
Why?
And one of the best bit is, so like, he went on them with when they got deployed, and he was there for 3 weeks. And then at the end of the like hour-long documentary, it's like, so at the end of this 3 weeks, we're returning to a port to get like mail in, and I've been told to leave the submarine before it goes on its actual journey. So he wasn't even on a submarine for the actual like mission. He was just basically on their like initial like port of call for 3 weeks, and he got kicked off.
What, did they like actually ask him to leave?
They didn't ask him to leave. It's just he was only contracted to do those like 3 weeks out of like, a submarine mission is like 6 months long.
Yeah.
So it's just like they left the original like Dockland and then went to like one other town to get like some mail in, and then they were going to go off for 6 months. And that's as long as he was like the last 3 weeks, and then he was gone.
That is outstanding.
And this is an hour-long time slot on Channel 5, so like 40 minutes of content. And about 15-20 minutes was like padding from like, oh, what was the first submarine? Here's some historical archive footage.
Yeah.
Of old submarines and shit. So it was really clear that some producers like, okay, we can have a documentary about inside a nuclear submarine, it'd be really fascinating. Then realised the problem is like, shit, we got to pad this out with like random history. It's a one-off special. There's no more episodes to this. I'm sure it was supposed to have episodes, but there's no content at all.
Do you wait? What, really? You thought there was supposed to be more?
Well, I felt like it must have, it felt like it was going to be a series, but at the end it was like, I'm off the submarine now. It's the end of the show.
Was he really sad by the end of it?
I think he was quietly frustrated in the sense, I think you could tell he was like, he'd been told to do this documentary and he's just pissed off that he couldn't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he knew what a shit show it was.
Poor bloke.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is a terrible, stupid decision.
But it's because on paper it sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
And then you've got to keep in mind that's actually like Britain's main line of defence and like, they're still active and stuff.
To be fair, like that kind of expose documentary can work. Like, have you seen Dark Tourist?
No, I mean I've seen Tickled, which is the same guy, isn't it?
Yeah, because in one of them he goes, when Japan had that massive flood, the tidal wave and the tsunami and all that. Sorry,
is that and then Fukushima?
Yeah, Fukushima. He visits Fukushima. They do like this tour of Fukushima. And obviously the Japanese government is all over them. Like, he's like, oh, I'm making this documentary about the tourists that come to these places where disasters have happened. And they're like, oh, okay. And they put him on this bus and they show him around and they're like, yeah, that's Fukushima over there. And they're like, but we're like 30 miles away from it or whatever. and it's like, obviously they're trying to censor it as much as possible to be like, it's not as bad as it seems, because it is really, really bad.
There is no war in Basing Say.
Well, yeah, exactly. But whereas David Ferrier, unlike the Submarine Man, he then gets off the bus when it stops at like a security point and then runs into one of the abandoned buildings and then, goes and does some like guerrilla filmmaking and films all like the destruction and everything that had happened in the wake. And he gets some really, really fascinating and like interesting footage.
To be fair, that'd be difficult if you're on a submarine.
Well, yeah, exactly. It just doesn't work, does it?
Oh shit, he's run off. Where's he gone? Well, probably one deck below.
Yeah, but
also, considering it's for like a British network revealing British secrets, it probably wouldn't go very well.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like that.
Yeah.
That type of filmmaking can work, but not in that situation at all.
Yeah, it's a very entertaining watch in a sort of.
What
in the
are
same
you
way,
doing?
watching a bad film is an entertaining watch. I wonder if a producer got fired over that.
I mean, you'd hope so.
Jesus Christ.
I don't really hope that. I mean, I kind of do. I don't know.
I mean, it was like a great idea on paper.
Good
it
idea.
Just didn't work in practice.
Very, very poor execution.
Oh, man.